In this comparative video we tell you all the major differences between Santa Teresa and Tamarindo in Costa Rica. Transportation, access, restaurants, accommodations, the beach of course, and how is the surfing too. So you can make up your mind which one you want to visit and possibly both of them. But let's start straight away with access to the town. Now, Tamarindo is actually so close to the second major airport of the country, which is in Liberia. From there, you can take transportation in about 40 minutes to 1 hour. You will be in Tamarindo and then straight to the beach. So easy going. On the contrary, Santa Teresa is not very well connected. There is a small airport close to Santa Teresa, but it's gonna cost you an arm and a leg to ride there. Instead, you have to fly to San Jose and then from there take a bus or rent a car. The trip will be about 4 to 5 hours with the last few kilometers on really bumpy roads. So in this case, I would say Tamarindo is the real winner. Beaches and surfing. Well, the two towns are so different in this respect. I must say that Santa Teresa is so much wilder. You go to the beach and on your back you have just the jungle and you have to walk through that. It's about 100 meters to get actually to the beach. It's a beautiful setup. I absolutely love it. Vice versa, Tamarindo is more commercial, you know, it's more touristic. That means you have even at the beach, maybe resorts, surely a few bars there. So there is plenty of music for sunset, drinks and so on and so forth. So a complete different experience. And the surfing is also very, very different. Tamarindo has more waves for beginners. And that's the place actually where I learned my surfing. And I must say one of the best spots in Costa Rica, if not the best spot to start your surfing life. Vice versa, if you go to Santa Teresa, you have more of intermediate, advanced waves. It's much more difficult, but you can go about 3 kilometers north and then you go to Playa Hermosa, beautiful beach there, where you can enjoy some easygoing surfing. And what about activities? Well, you find plenty of them in both towns. Santa Teresa is more about nature. Of course, there is plenty of surfing there. There's also a couple of sites for scuba diving if you want. And the main attraction is really to rent an ATV and explore the nature around. You can go, for example, to the Montezuma Falls in about 45 minutes. And there are other beaches around. There's Hermosa Beach, probably one of the most beautiful beaches I've visited here in Costa Rica with plenty of vibe. In Tamarindo, vice versa, you have again surfing more for beginners compared to Santa Teresa and Carmen Beach, and you have also scuba diving, which is probably better than the scuba diving that you can find in Santa Teresa. There are more sites in about 60 minutes, and then there are day trips that you can organize from both sides, and of course the zip lines, which are literally everywhere in Costa Rica. So in this respect, if you're more into diving, probably I would choose Tamarindo. If you want to start some surfing, Tamarindo works better, but otherwise Santa Teresa delivers more in a sense of nature. By the way, you can find in the video description a link to my guide with a full comparison between the two towns with so much more information on my website. Also with tips about accommodation, restaurants, bars, activities, so plenty of info down there. What about the two towns? Let's start with the layout. Tamarindo develops along the main road, which is parallel to the beach, and from there you have other small roads going up, and you can find restaurants, bars, accommodations of course, plenty of shopping, there are a few resorts and condos too. Meanwhile, Santa Teresa is more laid back, and the accommodation, the houses are more 1 and 2 floors, and there are of course expensive villas, but they are way hidden in the jungle. In fact, when you are at the beach, you see just vegetation in Santa Teresa, something you don't see actually in Tamarindo. In saying all of this, if you're more after a laid-back situation, then probably Santa Teresa works better for you. If you're after more of a time in a surfing town with plenty of shops and restaurants, then probably Tamarindo works better for you. I also want to spend a couple of words about the vibe. Santa Teresa has more of a cool down, chill out vibe. The reason being is that the town itself, besides the beach, is so immersed into nature, into the jungle. Probably your accommodation would be, in a garden, a tropical garden with animals around, and the beach itself, you have to walk through the jungle to get there. So the setup is just astonishing. Meanwhile, in Tamarindo is more built up. If you go to the beach, you have all of these beach bars on your back. You have still palm trees. It's beautiful setup, tropical, but it's more commercial. And what about accommodations, restaurants, bars? Well, bars, restaurants and nightlife, generally speaking, is much bigger in Tamarindo. Tamarindo is just more touristic, so there are many more people there, plenty of nightlife, plenty of bars. Also, there are plenty of beach bars, which means at sunset the beach is pretty full with everyone having a drink, a cocktail. Meanwhile, Santa Teresa is more settled back. There are 2 or 3 actually bars at the beach, but that's pretty much it. And then there are a few bars here and there along the main road, and also there are a few restaurants that you can enjoy your food. Accommodation wise, there are more condos and there are more apartments and there are more resorts in Tamarindo, being more touristic. In Santa Teresa you will find more of a niche market dedicated to the people that are looking into small scale accommodation. But let's check out in the next session actually the cost of the accommodation, bars, and generally speaking the cost of living in the 2 towns. Living cost. Well, Santa Teresa for some reason is more expensive. I'm not sure why, but both the food and the accommodation expect about 20 to 30, sometimes 40% more expensive in anything really, even the beers. Accommodation wise, you have a different choice, it must be said, because in Tamarindo you have these condos, apartments, beautiful pools too, for a good price, I must say. And in Santa Teresa you don't have this choice just because there are no condos. And probably because of the lack of the accommodation in Santa Teresa, they tend to be more expensive. It has to be said that in Santa Teresa you can find some lovely hostels there that caters more for a backpack market. So if you're after the money, then probably Tamarindo is a better option for you. Supermarkets. Believe it or not, I thought there is so much more shopping in Tamarindo. There are no actually big supermarkets in Tamarindo. You need to go out, and the first one would be the Automercado, and then you go to the Mega Super, but it takes about 4 or 5 kilometers from the center of Tamarindo. Meanwhile, in Santa Teresa, actually in Carmen Beach, you find a Mega Super with plenty of food and things that you can buy for your breakfast, lunch and dinner, so you can save some money. We are here in Costa Rica towards the end of the day, and this is also the end of this video, but you should check out my guide with a full comparison table between Tamarindo and Santa Teresa and Carmen Beach. Plenty of information there that I couldn't include in this video just because I wanted to keep it a little bit shorter. And I see you in next week's video. Check out where from.